You won't believe what happened in this courtroom. A man tried to challenge Judge Simpson in the most unusual way, claiming he couldn't appear in person because of an illness. But the court didn't buy it, and he was forced to show up anyway. Once he appeared, the drama skyrocketed. He began making bizarre arguments about jurisdiction, insisting the court had no authority over him. He even claimed the state doesn't exist and tried to frame his case as some kind of trust matter. Every statement he made was confusing and unusual, and it quickly became clear he was trying to bend the rules to avoid responsibility. Judge Simpson, however, was calm, firm, and completely unshaken. She shut down every argument, explained why the court had both personal and subject matter jurisdiction, and reminded him that lying or wasting the court's time is considered contempt. She even ordered him to submit all his claims in writing, showing that procedure and accountability always come first. Throughout the hearing, the tension was real. The defendant tried every trick he could think of, but nothing worked. The judge made it clear that the courtroom isn't a place for games, rules exist for a reason, and trying to dodge them only makes things worse. By the end, the message was obvious. No matter how complicated or unusual your arguments might be, you cannot escape responsibility. This hearing is a perfect example of why accountability matters and why the court will always stand its ground. Watching this unfold, it's easy to see the clash between someone trying to avoid the consequences of their actions and a judge determined to enforce the rules. The courtroom may seem intimidating, but it's a place where honesty, procedure, and respect are non-negotiable. And that's exactly what this hearing proves.
You indicated that you wish to represent yourself on this matter?
Yes.
All right, you understand at your arraignment, you were given the charges that were have been filed against you?
I was given a charge. So if there were any additional, I was not given those charges. The only charge I got was a fleeing and eluding.
Fleeing and eluding third degree.
Third degree, correct. And if anything else was tallied onto that, then I was not told.
Okay. I have one charge.
Okay.
That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration and $1,000 fine plus court costs. The Secretary of State would be required upon your conviction to suspend your license for a period of 1 year. You understand that, sir?
First, I wanted like an oral motion for dismissal based on the fact of the lack of probable cause and also the lack of a personal and subject matter jurisdiction based on the fact that this is a trust matter from the name to the private conveyance that was stolen by the third party, Wall Street Towing, and impounded on the colorful law actions of Officer Trowbridge of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department. Also, I have not been able to, as of Constitution Amendment 6, being able to face my accuser, with the state of Michigan being a fictitious entity and there's no injured party, there's no crime that has been committed. And again, to the probable cause of the initial stop and the arrest cannot be proven. There was no probable cause for the arrest or stop. There was no warrant on hand for the arresting officer to conduct an arrest. And even more so, again, as I stated, this is trust property, so this court doesn't have jurisdiction to adjudicate over the foreign trust.
Finish.
Oh, no, actually, I was also moving to place you and the clerk as fiduciaries over the trust. And I'll be able to supply you all with the adequate assurance certificate of security to settle and offset the charges.
Okay. Well, you will be doing nothing to me and nothing to my clerk. So whatever that motion was, that's denied. As to your other motion regarding all of that, quite frankly, it doesn't make any sense. We haven't even had the probable cause hearing. There will be a determination at the next stage as to whether or not there's probable cause regarding the charges.
I was told this was a probable cause hearing.
This is a probable cause hearing.
So I don't understand what you're saying.
I know you don't understand.
That they're not having a probable cause.
Pardon?
You said that no probable cause was had, but then you said that this is a probable cause hearing.
You have not had your preliminary examination, at which there will be a determination as to whether or not there's probable cause to believe that the crime has been committed and you committed it. That is the next stage. That has not happened. So to the extent that your motion is even valid, which I do not believe that it is, and certainly you may raise it at a later date, but to the extent that it's valid, at least at this point, your motion is premature, and therefore your motion is denied. Anything else?
Well, lastly, I want to also put on the record, I wasn't able to provide all my exhibits based on, as I told you, I was
You weren't able to do what?
provide my exhibits
To whom?
to the court to help for my defense, the evidences.
You haven't had a hearing yet.
I comprehend it. I'm just saying that I usually have my documents precede me before any hearings take place, and I wasn't able to because I was under the weather. That was my point. So they will be here, if not by the end of the day in the drop-off box, and you'll have more tomorrow. But you all will be served with the proper documents, and the taxes as well will be filed on the case.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not this time.
All right. So how would you like to proceed next on this?
I'm entering a plea of demurrer.
Okay, you've already done that.
I've already entered a plea of demurrer. I'm not sure when that took place other than right now.
That took place on the arraignment on the complaint, sir.
I never pleaded demurrer. There was
You stood mute, you stood demure. You don't even know what that means. You're just using words and have no concept as to what they mean.
demurrer and mute are two separate things, but that's neither here nor there.
No, they're not. You have no legal degree. They are not,
Don't need to.
they are not,
I'm not here.
they are virtually the same thing. So where do you wish to proceed now?
As I stated, my
Do
motion,
you wish this set for preliminary examination? Your motions have been
I
denied.
wish for the prosecution to provide the evidence that any of this needs
You
to.
don't have discovery on this case. Is that what you're asking?
I'm not asking for discovery whatsoever.
So what are you asking for?
I stated that the prosecution needs to prove that a crime was committed, and they also need to show and prove that there is an injured party for the crime to have even been committed.
As I've indicated, you will have that hearing. Do you wish to have discovery?
Discovery should be provided regardless. There's no wish about
Do
it.
you wish to have
Discovery should be
discovery?
provided.
Don't play word games with me.
I'm not playing.
Mr. Allen,
Discovery,
not play word games with me. You're playing with the wrong judge. You can smile and smirk all you want.
I'm not trying.
I'm giving you your warning. I will ask you again. Do you wish to have discovery provided to you?
Yes.
Sir, did you wish to then have another PCC, or did you wish to proceed immediately to preliminary examination?
I would like to first have a jurisdiction hearing,
What kind of jurisdiction here?
personal and subject matter.
Okay. Go ahead and raise it because I can deal with it right now. What's the personal jurisdiction?
As long as well as the state lacks personal jurisdiction, I'm simply here under threatened arrest or coercion of you saying that you would hope put out a bench warrant for my arrest. The subject matter in regards to the name as well as the vessel that was used is again under it was conveyed and is held and protected within the trust. And according to Article 1, Section 10, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution, there could be no legislative laws that could intercede or to interrupt the functioning of a contract, which the trust is and is properly properly functioning at this time. So with that.
All right, so here's what we'll do, because you're rambling again. So what we will do is you will put all of your jurisdictional arguments in writing, because you're wrong. So we might as well get it in writing that you're wrong, because I have subject matter jurisdiction over you and I have personal jurisdiction over you under the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan. So if you want to put your objections to jurisdiction in writing, you may do so, and then I will address those in due course.
Awesome. So that would be the next step. And I can get those in today.
No, that is not the next step. Either you're going to have another PCC. If you want me to set it for a hearing, I'll set it for a hearing.
Yeah, for the jurisdiction.
But I have nothing to set a hearing on. You have not filed anything regarding jurisdiction.
Okay, so for right now, as of this moment, PCC is fine. And then I will file the proper documents for the jurisdictional hearing. Gotcha.
So I'll adjourn the probable cause conference in this case. April 25th, 2024 at 3 p.m.
Is it possible to get another week for
person
to provide to accumulate my documents for my defense?
Is there what?
Is it possible to have that extended out another week so that I can provide my?
I'm going to set it 25th.
I mean, I was on the call. I've heard you give multiple counsels extended times. So what is the bias?
I have no bias against you, sir.
Well, I'm simply asking for
I'm
a reasonable
setting the date of 2 weeks out. You can have your motion together, file your motion. I will be able to address your motion at that time so that we can get this headed to a PC, to a preliminary examination.
Just for the record, I'll put it on the record that I object. Under threat, duress, or coercion, again.
Your objection is noted.
Right, and under threat and duress and coercion, I'll be here.
Is there anything else?
I said what I need to say.
Anything else from the people?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bond will continue.
Am I waiting for paperwork or get it from the front?
Pardon?
Am I waiting for paperwork regarding the next?
No, you may leave.
Oh, is it being mailed? Or I'm trying to figure out how to get the paperwork.
You can check out at the front desk.
Okay, thanks.
You won't believe what unfolded in this courtroom. From the moment the hearing began, it was clear this would not be an ordinary session. A man appeared determined to challenge the authority of Judge Simpson, insisting that the court had no right over him and claiming he could not attend in person due to illness. He tried to appear via Zoom, citing health concerns, but the court immediately made it clear that excuses would not be tolerated. The rules are the rules, and no one is above them. Despite his initial resistance, he was forced to appear in person, setting the stage for a tense and dramatic confrontation. Once in the courtroom, the chaos escalated. The defendant launched into a barrage of arguments that were not only unusual but completely disconnected from reality. He claimed that the state doesn't exist, argued that there was no injured party in the case, and attempted to classify his felony charge as a trust matter. His words were confusing, convoluted, and clearly designed to delay proceedings and confuse the court. Yet Judge Simpson remained unshaken. Every attempt to twist the law or manipulate the rules was met with calm, firm authority. She explained repeatedly that the court had both personal and subject matter jurisdiction over him, and that his arguments had no legal basis. Throughout the hearing, the tension in the room was palpable. The defendant tried every trick he could think of, misusing legal jargon and pseudo-legal theories to justify his actions. He spoke about lack of probable cause, and tried to claim that the court had no jurisdiction, but every claim was immediately refuted. Judge Simpson made it clear that the court is not a place for deception or manipulation, and that lying to the court constitutes contempt. When he falsely claimed illness to avoid appearing, she confronted him directly, emphasizing that honesty is required at every stage of a legal proceeding. He continued to push back, refusing to accept the clear and simple explanations of the court. Every motion he filed, every claim he made, was rejected, showing just how serious and structured courtroom procedures are. Judge Simpson instructed him to put all of his jurisdictional arguments in writing, making it clear that verbal attempts to circumvent the law are not enough. This was not merely a procedural requirement, it was a firm lesson in accountability. As the hearing progressed, it became increasingly apparent that the man's behavior was not just an attempt to challenge authority, it was a strategy to avoid responsibility. He tried to confuse, delay, and distract, but Judge Simpson systematically dismantled every argument. She reminded him that the law applies to everyone equally, and that attempts to manipulate or evade the rules would not be tolerated. The courtroom was a stage for a clash between someone trying to escape consequences and a judge committed to enforcing justice. Every moment of this hearing is a reminder of how seriously courts take accountability. The defendant's tactics were extreme, his arguments convoluted, and his behavior disrespectful, yet the judge's responses were measured, firm, and precise. She addressed each point with clarity, ensuring that there could be no misunderstanding about the court's authority or the consequences of his actions. Her instructions to submit arguments in writing reinforced the importance of procedure and the impossibility of sidestepping responsibility. By the end of the session, the lesson was undeniable. The courtroom is not a place for games. No matter how creative or convoluted an argument may seem, the law is clear, rules exist for a reason, and every individual is accountable for their actions. Attempts to exploit technicalities, misinterpret laws, or claim imaginary exceptions ultimately fail when faced with a judge who is knowledgeable, patient, and unwavering in the pursuit of justice. The defendant may have tried to challenge authority, mislead the court, and avoid responsibility, but this hearing demonstrates that such strategies cannot succeed. Judge Simpson's firm, unyielding approach is a clear message. The rules apply to everyone, and attempts to ignore them come at a cost. This is a vivid example of how accountability works, how court procedures are enforced, and why honesty and respect are fundamental in any legal setting. Watching this unfold, it's easy to see why the courtroom can be intimidating. It is not just a place for hearing arguments, it is a place where truth, responsibility, and justice intersect. The man's attempts to confuse and delay were systematically dismantled, showing that no amount of pseudo-legal theory or convoluted reasoning can override the principles of law. Every word spoken, every instruction given, was a lesson in the importance of procedure, the necessity of accountability, and the limits of personal claims in a structured legal system. Even as the hearing was adjourned, with instructions to continue at a later date, the implications remain clear. Judges like Simpson enforce the rules not just for order, but to ensure that the system works fairly for everyone. Attempts to bypass the law are temporary illusions that collapse under scrutiny. This case illustrates vividly what happens when someone tries to avoid responsibility. The system is prepared, the rules are firm, and justice ultimately prevails. This video is more than just a courtroom drama. It is a lesson in accountability, authority, and the consequences of attempting to evade responsibility. The defendant's efforts to manipulate and delay proceedings failed at every turn, showing that no matter how clever or persistent someone thinks they are, the law applies to everyone equally. The hearing stands as a reminder that honesty, respect, and adherence to procedure are not optional, they are essential. Every moment, every argument, and every rebuttal demonstrates the clash between chaos and order, between someone trying to escape consequences and a court determined to uphold the rules. It is a masterclass in courtroom authority, showing why judges must be firm when confronted with individuals who attempt to game the system. This is not just about one man or one case, it is about the principle that no one is above the law, no matter how creative or convoluted their arguments may be. Ultimately, the lesson is clear: attempts to manipulate the system, evade responsibility, or mislead the court will fail. Accountability, procedure, and respect for the law are absolute. This hearing demonstrates that even in the face of bizarre claims and relentless attempts to confuse, the court will remain firm, enforce the rules, and ensure that justice is served. It's a dramatic, intense, and highly instructive example of what happens when someone challenges authority in the wrong way.